All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, back again, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you right there, just like me right here. Modern melodic rock music that should be on the radio. I got the album and the t-shirt. Yeah, that's, totally coordinated, right? Perfect Plan. This came out, I think, now a couple of years ago. Time for a Miracle. Pretty prescient album title. Kent Hilly, spectacular lead vocals. If you don't even like the music, go listen to Kent Hilly sing and have your ears kind of blown away, because this is phenomenal. Kent is probably one of the finest current singers on the scene. He is also singing for the band Giant these days, and he's got a solo career going as well. But this album here, I think, really solidified the idea that this band was serious. Their first album was fantastic, but the second album proved that this wasn't a fluke. They are currently working on new material as we speak right now. Time for a Miracle. Speaking of miracles, Neal, Schon, and Steve Perry are talking again. Holy crap, Batman, right? Well, they're talking about business stuff, and I think that's good. It's not a bad thing. I just think that we have to not jump the gun. You're going to have people on various, social media platforms and chat rooms saying, it's a Journey reunion. Steve and Neal, they're getting back together again. This is great. We finally can get rid of that Arnell guy. By the way, that Arnell guy is fantastic. And anyone who is saying that, just, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore about that. I just would like people to know, again, over and over again, that Steve Perry is the greatest singer Journey will ever have. And Arnel Pineda will tell you that. But currently, Arnel Pineda is doing a phenomenal job with Journey and making a few of us cope with the fact that Steve Perry isn't in the band anymore. And if Steve Perry was in this band, I don't think he'd be able to handle the original vocals the way they were recorded. Let's just put it that way. There are some creative things I think the band could do to accommodate a Steve Perry reunion, right? If Steve was to come back, namely, dropping things as far as the original key and maybe unplugging some instruments and going acoustic. I think what would be cool is if, Neal, Schon, and Steve Perry were on stage. Neal, give him an acoustic guitar, even though, I think he looks at the acoustic and goes, yeah, I don't want to play this. But I think he would. I think if you had Perry up there with Neal, Schon, and they did like folky renditions of Journey classics, I think people would show up for that. I think that would be a really cool thing. And you know what? Steve could be like a solo artist and say, you know what? I'm going to do a few concert dates. I'm going to bring Neal, Schon out with me. And it's not Journey. It's Steve Perry and Neal, Schon. Unplugged, acoustic, unleashed, whatever you'd like to call it. That would be huge. And I think a lot of people would be very interested in that. Now, again, some people would say, well, it's not a Journey reunion. Okay, so it's still really cool. Anyway, the original premise of this video was the fact that Neal, Schon, and Steve Perry are talking. Now, this is in a publication called Vulture, just to let you know where I have been seeing this information. Neal was talking about his relationship with Steve Perry and how close they were at one time. And he says, we're talking and getting to know each other again, though not trying to get together musically again, but he's learning who I am now through a portion of our business that I'm kind of controlling now. This is interesting. Now, first of all, he shoots down the idea that they're trying to get together musically. Now, For a long time, Neal Schon rolled out the red carpet and said, Steve, hey, buddy, if you want to come back, the door is open. I think Jonathan Cain said it. I'm pretty sure Arnell said, hey, I'll step aside. I'm pretty sure I did videos about it, which is basically saying, Steve, anytime you want to come back, you're welcome to come back. Steve Perry, of course, is not coming back. He doesn't seem to want to be back in Journey. In fact, it's hard just to get Steve to record some solo material. He's got a ton of fans who are waiting for more new material, which allegedly is out there. And hopefully Steve will release it at some point. But in the meantime, we've got this business issue here. Neal says, I'm talking about a Journey trademark that I've obtained, as we've never owned our own trademark. All these years, many people lied to us. My wife and I finally got to the bottom of it after investigating for years. We were fought hard by everybody, but we managed to obtain the trademark. Interesting. So there was resistance to them getting the trademark. I'm not sure who owned the trademark. Was it Herbie Herbert? Was it his, business partners? I mean, this is kind of weird. So we're talking about that, meaning he and Steve, and figuring out the future of that, but we're talking. So two things here. It's cool that Steve is in on this, right? And he's not trying to get the trademark himself. In that sense, it's good that they're getting along and they're seeing this as a business, which it obviously is. In fact, the future of Journey, when these guys are gone, I hate to talk this way, but this thing is going to continue. So they need to make sure they put all the affairs in order, all of the business issues, who's going to get the revenue, how this will continue. Hopefully this won't just get sold out to Irving Azoff or whoever. I'm pretty sure that Neal Schon isn't a big fan of Irving Azoff, from what I understand, but Irving is a big deal, and he'll gladly take over your catalog and market for you if you would like for a very large lump sum. In the case of Journey, it could be like the biggest lump sum ever, because you've got a song with over 1 billion streams right now, and a song that will be in the time capsule. If they shoot that tune into outer space, right, and aliens find it like 1 million years from now, it'll be like, oh yeah, this is what the Earth is like. It's Don't Stop Believing. So in any event, I'm sure they're just trying to get all their ducks in a row. And Steve Perry is a very smart, very shrewd businessman. First thing he did when Journey said they were going to, find another singer, first thing allegedly that Steve Perry did was he lawyered up. He said, I'm going to get lawyers and I'm going to get a cut of this. They weren't supposed to fracture the stone. It's good now that everybody is talking, though. A lot of people are just like, hey, can these guys just be friends? I think they're friends. I think Steve Perry is resistant to working with anybody musically anymore for some reason, but I think he's okay with negotiating the business side of things with Neal Schon and probably to some degree with Jonathan Cain. Last time that Perry was really outspoken during the Traces period, he had some pretty crazy things to say about Jonathan Cain, and he didn't directly confront Neal Schon, but he did say something like, hey, if someone just wants to work with you and they don't really like you as a person, that doesn't sound like something he wanted to get involved in. Well, everybody's getting older. And my point is, in a lot of these situations where you've got aging rock stars, right? Why not put these stupid disagreements aside and do something for the fans. In this case, you're doing something for the franchise, but it's better than not speaking to one another at all. So again, is this breaking news? I don't know. It's interesting though. Could it lead to something more? I doubt it. But then again, you just never know in this world. Maybe, if I were to do this, I would say, guys, don't call it Journey. Go out there, Steve and Neal playing the acoustic. Go out there and do some dates, because fans would love to see Steve Perry, right? They would love to see Steve. A lot of people don't think Journey is Journey anymore because it's just Neal Schon, the original guy, even though you've got Jonathan Cain in the band and Arnell's been in there for like 15 years, right? But people are just like, nah, this isn't really what Journey was. And, Steve Smith and Ross Valerie are gone. So you don't have that rhythm section from the Escape/Frontiers period, which I think a lot of people, even though they appreciate Dean Castronovo and they've been okay with, whoever playing bass. Todd Jensen's playing bass now. Randy Jackson on the new album, which we're going to hear tomorrow, which I will have to critique. I will have to give you a complete rundown of all the songs and what I think of everything. The main point here is that a lot of people would just prefer to see Steve Perry. There are a lot of people that just follow Steve Perry. They don't really care about what's going on with Journey anymore. And to me, that's kind of sad because I think you're missing out. I think the spirit of what Journey started to do in the early 80s is still there on this new album. And for those of us who get bored easily and we're tired of hearing Don't Stop Believin' every 15 minutes on the radio, this gives us something to listen to. Again, radio is not going to be friendly to the new album. And hey, a lot of people say, just move on. So maybe we should just all move on, right? That's why I have a perfect plan here. Great album. Check it out. This is something for the melodic rock fan who grew up listening to Journey and might want something new to listen to. But as far as Neal Schon and Steve Perry talking, it's a good thing. It's really cool. And I'm sure they'll work things out where everybody is financially set well into the future, because this franchise, this ain't going nowhere. Whether these guys stop performing next year or continue on for another 10 years, it really doesn't matter, because this music is bigger than what they could have imagined when they started all of this. All right, people, that's the video. I'm done. Got some new subscribers coming on board. Fantastic. Got a couple of patrons yesterday, which was phenomenal. Somebody upped their pledge yesterday, from what I remember. That's insane. I'm looking for, like 1,000 people at $1 a month, or 2,000 people for $1 a month. That would be really good. I have something like 58,000 subs, which is insane to think about. I'm grateful for all the subscribers, but if you'd like to help, $1 a month, it helps me put gas in my car. Seriously, at this point, and you're saying, I need that money to put gas in my car. Okay, fine. Good argument. Touche, right? So if you want to help the channel out, that would be great. Anyway, I'll be back soon. I'm definitely going to have to review that Journey album for you. And so I'll see you soon.